We need to talk about a disease that afflicts 1 in 50 people. Some of those conditions and diseases impact each and every one of us. We all know someone, but what about a disease that impacts 1 in every 50 people? A disease that's it. Do you think a condition that's prevalent is deserving of more awareness? Many of those people will go their entire lives without issue. But in the United States, that means 30,000 Americans, of every age, race, and creed, will experience this frightening condition this year. Of those unlucky, of the 30,000 people who will experience a brain aneurysm rupture this year, only 5,000 people will survive without some sort of permanent damage. I was emceeing an auction in South Boston to benefit the Fourth Presbyterian Church when the worst headache of my life hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt fluid as a father of 2, who was responsible for all the highways, bridges, and tunnels in the Commonwealth, and a staff of nearly 3,000, I've had my share of headaches. But nothing compared, despite the fact that 6.5 million Americans are living with an undetected brain aneurysm. The federal government currently designates only 83 cents for every person afflicted by this disease each year. But that may soon be a thing of the past. On March 20, Representatives Yvette Clarke D. named in honor of, the money would go toward research on brain aneurysms, including the study of a broader patient population diversified by age, sex, and race, and would also help researchers learn more about what causes aneurysms and what causes them to rupture, as well as assist with the development of treatment modalities and much more. The BAF delegation is scheduled to meet key legislators in Washington to sign on as co. We may never live in a world without brain aneurysms, but with the continued work of organizations like the Brain Aneurysm Foundation and advocacy of civic leaders, we can make them a lot less common. Tom Tinlin is a former highway administrator for the Massachusetts Department of Transportation and a brain aneurysm survivor. Twitter.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.